Ya pemirsa, saya sekarang bersama David McAllister, Ketua Komite Luar Negeri AFET dari Parlemen Eropa sendiri. Good morning, sir. How are you doing, Mr. David?
How I'm doing?
Yeah.
I'm excellent. I'm great. I'm happy to be in Indonesia, in Jakarta.
Looking very sharp, sir.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you. I'm not sure.
So let's just get right into it. So 24th February 2023 marks 1 year of Russia's invasion on Ukraine. Some predict that this war would last for tens of years. From your point of view, how long do you think this war would last?
Well, first of all, it's a very sad commemoration we will see on the 24th of February. 1 year war of aggression of the Russian Federation against Ukraine. This is a brutal, violent war of aggression, totally unjustified, and is the most severe attack on the European peace and security architecture and the entire rules-based order in the world for decades. And we will continue to support the brave Ukrainian people in defending not only their own country and their own liberty, but the values of democracy and the rule of law. How long will this war last? Nobody can seriously predict that. Wars come to an end when the conditions are met. And the first requirement for peace negotiations is a ceasefire. But what we're seeing in the moment is that the Kremlin propaganda machine is talking about peace. And on the other hand, the Kremlin is sending more and more troops to the front line, and the Russians are continuing their outrageous attacks against civilian infrastructure and against innocent people. And that's why the Ukrainians have every reason not to trust the Russian propaganda.
Okay, in the midst of this conflict with Russia, how is the European Union supporting Ukraine?
We, the European Union, our 27 member states, have supported Ukraine in an unprecedented way. We have given economic, financial, humanitarian assistance, and also for our member states, military support, and we will continue to do so. But we're not on our own in this. We are together with our allies, with the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, Japan, South Korea, Australia, just to mention a few.
Yeah. Okay. Following Russia's invasion on Ukraine, trade-related policies imposed by countries have surged. With the current energy and food global crisis, how is the European Union handling this energy and food crisis?
Some of our member states in the European Union were too dependent on Russian energy deliveries, and the Russian Federation was using energy deliveries as a political tool to put political pressure on some of our member states. How have we reacted? We have shown European solidarity. We are supporting each other, and we have brought down the energy imports from Russia very quickly, and we will continue to do so because we know every euro, every dollar we are giving to the Russian Federation for gas imports can be used for this brutal, violent war of aggression against Ukraine. What are we doing to save energy in Europe? On the one hand, we are reducing energy consumption, and on the other hand, we are diversifying our energy deliveries from other countries, and the most important step is that we need to quickly invest more in the renewable energies, because these are the energies which we have in Europe, and they are eco-friendly.
Through January to December 2022, databases have found that coal exports to European countries were estimated about 5.85 million tons from Indonesia. Will Indonesia's coal exports to the European countries help overcome this energy crisis on the Blue Continent during this entire conflict?
Because we have to decrease energy imports, oil and gas from the Russian Federation, yes, we will be dependent on coal imports, including from Indonesia. But let's be very clear, this is a bridge to overcome the problems we are facing. But coal in general is a very pollutive energy source, and it stands, of course, against our ambitious goals as regards fighting climate change. We will continue to implement a very ambitious reform agenda. That means in 2050, by 2050, the European Union wants to be climate friendly. That means we have to reduce our emissions until 2030 by 55%, until 2050 by 100%. So we will be importing coal from Indonesia and other countries. We are forced to do so because of the war of aggression, but the future of our energy supplies lies in the renewables. We have to really speed up wind, solar, and other renewable energy sources, and we have to continue to decrease energy consumption because the best energy is the one which isn't consumed at all.
Okay, so with the current unpredicted and tough global conditions, how do you think Indonesia plays a role for your European Union countries?
Indonesia is a very important partner for us in the European Union. At the commemorative summit of 45 years of EU-ASEAN cooperation in Brussels last year, our partnership was lifted to a strategic level. ASEAN is for us a very important strategic partner, and within ASEAN, the largest member state, Indonesia, of course, is of crucial importance. So one of the reasons why we are here as a Foreign Affairs Committee delegation from the European Parliament is to further strengthen our relationship between the EU and ASEAN and bilaterally with Indonesia. And I hope that in this year, 2023, we will see the CEPA agreement between Indonesia and the European Union being finalized. This trade agreement would be beneficial for both sides, especially for the people and businesses in Indonesia.
Okay, so you've mentioned about the CPO trade. So currently Indonesia and the European Union are still going through the discussions on deforestation, CPO trade, and export bans. So what is your perspective on all of this, and how do you think this issue will be resolved, and will it be resolved anytime soon?
Well, the main message of the EU-ASEAN summit in December in Brussels, where all leaders met, was that the presidents announced that they want to conclude the CEPA agreement in 2023. That's a political statement, and now I call on both sides to work hard on the remaining obstacles. Let's clarify the details, and let's get this trade deal done, because this would be a huge opportunity, especially for Indonesia. And we, as a European Union, have been very clear that for us, Indonesia is not only an important trading partner, but we also see Indonesia as a political partner, because what we have in common is we share the same values, and we are very thankful also for Indonesia's commitment to defending the multilateral cooperation in this world, and also for defending and strengthening the rules-based international order.
All right, thank you so much for your time, sir. I very much appreciate it.
Thank you, madam.
Ya baiklah, itu perbincangan kami dengan David McAllister, Ketua Komite Luar Negeri AFET dari Parlemen Eropa. Dari Jakarta, tim liputan CNBC Indonesia.